The Arkansas River, one of the nation's great waterways of commerce, a tribute to the work of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Once an unruly river that wreaked havoc with uncontrollable spring flooding, the Arkansas is now more friend than foe to those who work and play here. A series of locks and dams makes the river navigable, and the stretch from Little Rock to Pine Bluff, Arkansas and on southward has gained fame among bass anglers as a bass and land of opportunity. 49 anglers, the cream of the crop of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society's Federation Bass Clubs, are hard at work here. For some, going fishing might be fun and games, but this is the Wrangler BASS National Championship. It's the final step on the big leap to reach the World Championship of Bass Fishing, the Bassmasters Classic. 5 of these amateur anglers will advance to fish against the best pro fishermen in the world, July 28th through 30th in Greensboro, North Carolina. As winners of their respective regions, Eastern, Northern, Southern, Central, and Western divisions, they'll earn the title of Wrangler Anglers. Besides the invitation to fish the 1994 Classic Championship, the top 5 Federation anglers get a package deal from Wrangler Rugged Wear. As Wrangler anglers, they'll receive a 1-year sponsorship to fish the BASS Tournament Trail. Every bass clubber's dream, a chance to turn pro and play for pay. But it's not an easy road to travel. As BASS Federation Director Don Corcoran explains, stub your toe in the long qualifying process and you're out of the game.
These 49 anglers from around the world have competed in their local clubs, in state tournaments, in divisional championships, and finally have made their way here as the representatives of 2,300 bass clubs located across the world with 40,000 members.
Tough odds to beat. Only 1 in 8,000 Federation anglers will reach their goal this year, the Bassmasters Classic World Finals. The cream of the BASS Federation has come to the top. Besides 46 state champions here, there are national federation winners representing Japan, South Africa, and Zimbabwe. Stay tuned. The Wrangler BASS National Federation Championship will continue in a moment from Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Stren Clear Blue. The proof is in the fishing.
Well, this old farm has seen 4 generations. We've always tried to emphasize to our children to give it the best they had. We go for quality, for safety, for security. I don't compromise on anything. Most people take brakes for granted. I have read where 1 out of 4 cars on the road need brake work. When I think of safety, I can remember Raybestos as far back as I can remember.
Find quality Raybestos brake parts at your local Parts Plus auto store.
The cowboy's business is a business of silence. 100 miles of fence gives a person time to think, to wonder about who he is, what the world is coming to. Talk to a cowboy long enough and you'll get an opinion on everything. That's because he's had time to think about everything. Yeah, at Wrangler, we know cowboys. Our genes were invented by them. That's why the West is in us. Wrangler, the Western original.
The Wrangler BASS National Championship. It's a long road to Pine Bluff, Arkansas for the 49 qualifiers at the 1994 Bassmaster Federation Finals. For 5 Wrangler anglers, it's not the end, but just the beginning of a wish-come-true trip to the Bassmasters Classic World Championship. In yesterday's opening round, Ken Tice of Santa Teresa, New Mexico, perhaps has anglers in the Western Division thinking about, well, maybe next year.
All right, here we go. The kids wait, folks, to put him in the lead possible. Watch the scale. 19 pounds, 7 ounces. High!
The Western Division race may be over before it gets started. Ken Tice's 5 bass limit and over 19 pounds puts him almost 11 pounds ahead of his nearest challenger, Gary Hull of Montana. Ken's no stranger to the Arkansas River. He qualified for the 1993 Wrangler BASS Nationals here.
I've been up here a lot of days over the last 2 years practicing on this river, and I feel like it's my home waters now. Figured last night I've been up here for 20 days now over the past 2 years, learning a little bit about fishing this river.
Bob Dobert of Baltimore, Maryland weighed in 15 pounds, 10 ounces, the second best Creole. He's the Eastern Division leader.
I'm not real sure how many fish are in the area I'm fishing, or exactly. I really haven't caught enough fish to really be able to figure out what the exact pattern is yet, so I'm going to have to go back this morning and pick up where I left off yesterday.
In the Central Division, Kenny Gibson of Mountain Home, Arkansas has the lead, but shuns any favorites tag.
You know, it's really not my home waters. I fish a lot of clear water, and it's different for me, so I'll just go try today, just like I did yesterday. If I catch them, I do, and if I don't, well, I tried.
Over in the Southern Division, Brent Riley of Ridgeville, South Carolina is in the lead and has the Classic on his mind.
I wish I could get it out of my mind. I went and practiced on it before it went off limits. I'm 3 hours from the Classic, and I'm 15 hours from here, so I couldn't get time off to come all the way down here, so I practiced at the Classic waters, hoping that I'd get lucky down here.
There's pressure to make the Classic, but there's added pressure being on top. As Michigan's Todd Dreisey, the Northern Division leader, explains.
Anybody that isn't thinking about being at the Classic has lost sight of what they're out here for. That's what this whole thing's about. I'm trying to keep out of my mind where I'm sitting in the standings. Not worrying about what's in front of me, worrying about what's behind me. Like I said, there's some guys coming up that are hungry.
Hungry, eager anglers, yes. But tournament leader Ken Tice is finding the situation different this morning. The bite is slow. He's fishing the tar camp area between Pine Bluff and Little Rock. And overnight, the water in the upper river pool dropped almost a foot.
This drop in water, it makes a big difference, I think what it does, these fish, afraid they're going to be left high and dry, and they just move out to deeper water. I really think they're feeding if I can find them.
A change of plan is often the case in fishing a river system. On the Arkansas, an alternate choice is rocks. The Corps of Engineers use tons of them. Bass hide in and feed around the rocky riprap.
I'm coming around the boat. I hope this is a bass. Hit like one it should be. Now, I learned this from one of your TV shows. David Fritz, as I recall, is real good at this sort of thing. Come on, honey. Come on, honey. Yes! All right.
Downriver to the southeast of Pine Bluff is a cypress-dotted backwater area known locally as the coal pile. Reportedly, coal supplies were stocked here for early-day steamboats. This is a favored big bass fishing area in the spring. Normally, the huge lake remains clear when the rising river muddies other areas. The tournament could be won or lost here in the coal pile. Too much fishing pressure might be the difference. Close by, but outside the protective dike, is a smaller but equally famous backwater area called the Annex. Northern Division leader Todd Dreisey is fishing here. The Annex paid off big time for Todd yesterday, but this morning he's struggling. The wind is a factor. Muddy water is being blown into this backwater, and as yet the bigger bass aren't biting. Bob Dobert, the leader in the experience-loaded Eastern Division, boated a nice fish right off the bat this morning. However, his pattern isn't producing many bites. Jerry Eusta of Zimbabwe is a long way from familiar waters in his native Africa. But the Central Division contender has found his way into the coal pile backwaters. An International Federation member, obviously he faces even bigger odds to win and qualify for the Classic. But Jerry's making a bloody go of it.
Certainly waited a long time for that. What I've been doing is fishing these green cypress trees, just with a jerkbait. It's a pretty difficult lure to throw. The fish are quite spooky, so you have to cast from a long way off. And this thing's quite flighty, so half the time you're spending either casting 2-3 meters from the tree, you won't get a bite.
And what's happening with tournament leader Ken Tice? Well, he's hooked up with another heavyweight largemouth. Ken may get dizzy going around in circles before this bass gives up.
This bass here could make the difference. Whoa, I'm telling you, that fish is strong. God. I'm gonna try it this time.
What can we say, Ken? You win some, lose some. And some bass are just meant to get away. Stay tuned. The Bassmasters will be right back.
Well, that's what happened.
My dad and I have owned Ford trucks for as long as I can remember. If somebody had told me 3 months ago that I'd be driving a Chevy truck, well, I wouldn't have believed them. Well, I took a look at the new Chevy truck, and they've totally redesigned the truck. And test drove it. That was enough to sell me on it. It's got the Vortec V6. It's got plenty of power. They've had tough competition from Ford, and they've beat them.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevy truck.
Chevrolet's done their homework on this truck.
Factory rigged and loaded with standard equipment. If you thought Ranger quality was out of your price range, the affordable reality is about to hit home. Premiering the Ranger Sport R70 and R72. 17 feet of legendary Ranger performance, and all unbelievably affordable. The new Sports Series from Ranger. Your ship really has come in.
He's won more than $500,000 on the Texas in the top 5 finishes. Grigsby reads Bassmaster.
Sean Grigsby is a champion.
Winning over $500,000 on the Bassmaster Tournament Trail takes more than just the right tackle. It takes a lot of skill plus a few secrets. I try to key on fish others tend to miss. I do it by downsizing my baits and slowing them down, way down. This is the kind of know-how that we pros share with our fellow BASS members, and we do it all right here in the pages of Bassmaster magazine. 10 big issues a year are loaded with tips and techniques that will teach you how to consistently land more bass. So if you want to join those of us in the know, become a member of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society. Call now to sign up and we'll rush you this great tackle pack absolutely free.
Join Bass now. Call 1-800-917-FISH. With your $18 paid membership, you'll receive Berkley's Power Craw, Pratco's Zaragoza 2, Berkley's Trilene XT line, and a copy of Bass Baits. Plus, you'll enjoy 10 issues a year of Bassmaster magazine. That's 1-800-917-FISH.
Day 3, the final round of the 1994 Wrangler BASS National Championship. Tournament leader Ken Tice still has a wide margin in the Western Division, but the one that got away could cost him the overall Federation Championship.
That fish won the battle. I fought that fish around the boat. That fish jumped, but that fish deserved to stay. It's really made a contest out of this, which it should be.
In the overall standings, Ken Tice leads with a two-day total of 25 pounds, 13 ounces. Jerry Eusta of Zimbabwe moves up to second, only 2 pounds, 3 ounces behind. But he's more focused on the Central Division standings.
A guy who caught very few fish on the first day, he came in with 17 pounds yesterday. So things could just, well, you just can't tell how much weight you need.
Brent Riley still leads the Southern Division.
The first day I got a limit early. Yesterday I didn't get a limit till the end of the day. And today I'm in the first flight, so I don't know if I'm going to have time to get a limit.
Brian Kerschel of Connecticut moves atop the free-for-all in the East Division.
The area I'm at's really kind of pressured a lot this year, but I know there's a lot of good fish in the area, and I'll be happy if I even get 3 bites today.
Yesterday, Greg Hawk of Ohio checked in a 17-pound limit to lead the Northern anglers.
You know, I've got some other fish I can go to. I got, I think a 9-pound, 4-ounce lead in my division. You know, that's the main thing that I want to make sure I keep is that advantage. But, you know, it'd also be nice to, have a shot at winning this tournament. So I'm going all the way down to the lock on number 2, which is our limit of where we're allowed to travel. Well, that lock is located in a canal. The lock is not combined with the dam. There's a canal dug off separate where they skirt the dam, apparently due to siltation, where this river starts getting close to the Mississippi. They had trouble keeping it channelized, so they dug a separate channel to run the barges through to the lock. So the water is dead still at the lock, and I'm not dealing with the flow of the river. I'm probably 10 miles from the main current of the river, but I guess because of the lock and the depth of the water, there's some cabbage weed there is what I'm actually fishing. It's a riprap. I would throw it right up to the edge of the riprap, and there's probably a 3 or 4 foot gap of open water between the riprap and the back edge of the weeds. And just kind of an angled cast. When the buzzbait comes up and either touches the first weed or gets within inches of it is when every fish hits.
Greg Hawk's final round is going as planned, but tournament leader Ken Tice may need to adjust his strategy.
I think that's Murphy's Law.
Jerry Eusta changed his approach in the coal pile.
There's also fish on this, on this sort of point here and that point there. They could just come from anywhere. It's one of them funny fish again. Boy, they just love this thing today.
With the bite in low gear, Brent Riley slows down his presentation.
I'm throwing a floating worm, which I throw a lot. I'm just almost fishing it still. I'm bringing it off the bottom, twitching it, making it curl once or twice, and letting it flutter down. Almost all of my bites have come while it was sitting on the bottom. Seemed like the slower the better. It's worked. Today I had just 3 bites on it today, but they're all better fish. I'm actually letting it flutter down and twitching it and just making it twirl and then letting it just settle and set it there for 30 seconds or so.
Brian Kerschel is fishing the cypress trees in the coal pile, but how he's working the lure is the difference.
I'm basically just pitching this 1/4-ounce jig to the bases of these cypress trees, and there's knees and stuff down there that the fish can hide in and stuff. And I'm using the 1/4-ounce because it seems like the fish like the slower fall, and also there's a lot of milfoil down there, and I try and keep the bait on top of the milfoil if possible so the fish can see it, because if it gets down in it, then it's hard for them to get it. And the strikes, I haven't felt one strike. Usually what it is I just let the bait fall down there and just kind of shake it a little bit. I'm not really moving it that much, just kind of doodling it. Sometimes these cypress knees feel. There he is. Oh, good fish too. It's about time. It's been a long time between bites, I'll tell you.
Greg Hawk is working on another 5 bass limit.
Another keeper. They shrunk, but they'll keep.
Brian's not about to panic. He's working his slow jiggling jig for all it's worth.
Good fish. That was a little bit better than that.
But a lure change for Greg Hawk. He's flipping a plastic crawworm.
Maybe that's the trick to him.
Brian Kerschel's got another one.
That's the first one I lost.
The one that got away may be the story of the 1994 Wrangler BASS National Championship. It may be costly for Brian Kerschel. For sure, Ken Tice is worried. He arrives at the final weigh-in empty-handed.
How many more from the Western Division? 0. That means you're going to the Classic, man. That's great. Thank you. I've never seen a guy win with no fish.
Jerry Eusta could become the first international angler making the Classic.
Jerry, you've got to have weight. And let's see what the weight is. Watch it closely. You're in or you're out. It's got to be 5 pounds. 5 pounds, 5 ounces. Bingo. He's off to the Classic. That qualifies him.
A nervous Greg Hawk is next.
And the weight? He had to have 5'2". He made it. Congratulations to you. Man alive.
Brett Riley's practiced on the Classic waters. Now he may get to fish the Classic.
Watch the scale. It's got to be 4. You way over there. 7 pounds, 13 ounces. He's on the way to the Classic. Woo!
Brent's not only going to the Classic, he may just win this tournament. Brian Kerschel is the only angler yet to weigh in. Brian needs 8.5 pounds to win the tournament. From the looks at his bag, he's won the Eastern Division.
Okay, here we go. Brian Kerschel. So he's going to win it all. All right, hit the scale. Ready? 8:15, bingo! 8:15. Woo! We want to check the big bass. Let's get some pictures of the big bass. Reach in and get that fish. Brian Kerschel, twice, 2 years in a row.
Brian Kerschel, a repeat winner of the Eastern Division, is the champion of the 1994 Wrangler BASS National Championship. He beat the odds. Brian's a 1 in 40,000 winner.
Sometimes these Cypress knees feel. There he is.
Right now, it's time for the Pros Pointer, the how-to section of the Bassmasters. Brought to you by Wrangler, the most comfortable jeans known to man.
When you think of finesse fishing, generally you think of spinning rods and really light line, 6-8 pound test. Well, I got a little technique here that I use. It's kind of a finesse with a regular old bait caster rod. It's a shorter rod, about 6 foot, medium heavy, and I scale the line down to 12 or 14 pound test. And what I do when I get into really pressured waters is I'll just flip this jig into cover, something like that, you know, right in there like that. And I'll just kind of shake it and just leave it there as long as I can. And I'm also using a 1/4 ounce jig with the number 11 cork, which really, it settles down real slow and easy, and the fish can see it and can look at it, and you just got to tempt them until they take it.
It's the same thing every Saturday. He puts on those old blue jeans and goes out with that old dog, and he's gone all day. He says he's going to bring back dinner, but all he ever brings back is that old dog.
Here's to old dogs, Saturday mornings, and comfortable blue jeans. Wrangler.
Hey, Denny Brower, show us your bait.
I catch more fish with Bassmaster than anything else. Bassmaster keeps me up on the latest strategies and techniques for finding and catching more fish more often.
Hey, Sean Grigsby, show us your bait.
I wouldn't be caught fishing without Bassmaster magazine. This is where over 500,000 members of the Bass Angler Sportsman Society share their secrets for success.
It's what you know and where you go that counts on the water. As a member of Bass, I depend on the know-how I read in those 10 yearly issues of Bassmaster magazine. But you have to be a member of Bass in order to get it. Hey, you're a member, aren't you?
You're not?
An angler like you ought to be a bass member. Come on and join us and start packing this in your tackle box.
Call 1-800-209-FISH now to join Bass. With your $18 paid membership, you'll receive 10 issues a year of Bassmaster magazine, plus this free tackle pack with Berkley's Glitter Power Worm, Pradco's Bomber Flat A, Berkley's Trilene XL line, and a copy of Bass Baits. That's 1-800-209-FISH.
If you lined up all your equipment end to end, you realize how much you've invested. Whoa. Fortunately, Lubramatic products protect your investment and keep it all running at peak performance. Switch to the Lubramatic brand. With all the money you save, maybe you can buy a little bigger bass boat. Available at retailers nationwide. Everything moves better with Lubramatic.
The Grassroots Bass Club members are growing up in their fishing skills. The Wrangler Angler program will sponsor these winners on the Pro Bassmaster Tournament Trail next season. But coming up for the Federation winners is the Bassmasters Classic World Championship at Greensboro, North Carolina. Make plans to join us right here for a 1-hour special. The Bassmasters TV cameras follow the action as the best professional and amateur anglers go rod to rod for the biggest prize in fishing. See firsthand how the world's best catch bass. Then witness the exciting weigh-in and crowning of the classic champion right here on TNN Outdoors next Sunday. The Bassmasters has been brought to you by AC Delco Automotive Parts. AC Delco, it's like buying time. Evinrude Outboards, leading the way. Parts Plus, America's family of auto parts stores. Stren Fishing Lines, a fine line between sport and science. Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. Ranger Boats, still building legends one at a time. Lubramatic, the lubrication specialists. Everything moves better with Lubramatic. Wrangler, the official jeans and shirts of the Bassmaster Tournament Trail. And the Bass Angler Sportsman Society, the world's largest bass fishing organization.
Yes! All right. Oh, I'm on TV. Might get another bite like